Jorge. What an emotional and disappointing episode. I've never hated a Snatch Game more than, oh hey, hi, it's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with the Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 10, Episode 7, the Snatch Game. And all I can say is, Jorge, drink me. Oh, look at you making a Wilma's hat. This is, of course, James's drink here at Whala Bar and Lounge, 996 Queen Street East. And it is a vodka, because apparently I like vodka, a little of that blackcurrant liqueur, and their signature Pinot cider, which is delicious, lemon juice, or lime juice, sorry, and some fresh fruit in the bottom. I got seeds from last week's raspberries, is all I'm saying. Let me get a sip, because you made this, all right. Oh, that's a big hat, is all I'm saying. All right, so let's get to it. Well, we started the episode off by saying bye to Blair St. Clair, and it didn't seem to me that the vixen had any problem saying bye. She got right to that mirror and started wiping. And, you know, I just have to say, I'm getting a little sick and tired of the vixen, and I'm saying this at the beginning of the episode. I got sick and tired of her by the end of it, too, don't get me wrong. But just off the top, she just, you know, just seems to be such a pill, and no matter what anybody says to her, like Eureka stopping to tell her that maybe the reason that she's having all this problem is because she's always coming at people as the bear, as opposed to maybe thinking about being a nicer person, reacting a little nicer, and building relationships. Well, that fell on deaf ears. I'm so serious. Thank God Monique was there to complain about her financial woes, bless her. You know, it's so easy for people to get caught up in the minutia of it all. And Monique's minutia is, well, her lack of money. I mean, nothing gets more minute than having no money. I mean, I should know. I've barely paid my rent yet. Do you know what I'm saying? We're all poor, Monique. Make it work, which she clearly can do. I think the one thing she likes to do more than make clothes is complain about having no money. And when you complain about having no money, you're not gonna get it, I'm just saying. But before the pity parade could really get into full swing, there was Ru in the workroom with this week's mini challenge, which of course was the library reading. Everybody knows it's fundamental. Some queens more than others. I have to say, I thought everyone did okay. Who did I hate? Asia was the only one I thought that sucked a big dirty wad of socks. And only because, you know, I don't think she's that kind of queen. I know I'm not that kind of queen. I mean, I read people all the time, but I don't know if I could do it on cue. Of course, I was very impressed with Cameron, only because I didn't expect anything out of Cameron. Monet was fabulous, as I knew she would be, and I love that she ended it all by saying, and that's shade, because that was shade. Eureka, hilarious. And of course, she won the mini challenge, much to the chagrin of the Bitter Black Girl Brigade, which seems to be Monique and the Vixen. Seriously. But there really was no time for the bitterness to take hold, because it was time to get ready for this week's main challenge, the Snatch Game. And Ru didn't come alone. No, she did not. She brought Bianca Del Rio, who knows how to read a bitch and knows how to impersonate one as well. Seriously. Now, I have to say, I love the Snatch Game. As I've said, this is a challenge that separates the performers from the posers, and every time, this is the thing. I'm so glad Michelle said it in the judgment section. It's not like you didn't know it was coming. And these girls show up with an idea of somebody. Oh, I can do this person because they're old, or they're black, or they're white, or they're whatever. And without looking at anything, I mean, even Kate Upton said, what did she read, the wiki page? And some of these girls didn't even seem to do that. I'm so serious. The girls that I was very impressed with, well, of course, Eureka, because Honey Boo Boo or Divine, she was going to kill it either way. I have to say, I was very impressed that Cameron chose to do China. I'm sorry that it wasn't as funny on the panel as it could have been, but she had a good, solid thought. She was one of those people she knew what she was going to do with China. The problem with China as a character, though, not a lot of places to go. I was so pleased that Monet did Maya Angelou and showed poor Chi Chi Devane how it's done. It was very, very funny, if not a little too subtle. I felt bad for Cracker because her Dorothy Parker was a great choice, but I knew it would be too smart or too clever or not funny, and it was all of that. Because Dorothy Parker is not a ha-ha person, she's a thinker person, and thinker persons usually are people you mull over when you're taking a dump, just saying. Another girl I knew would do well was Aquaria as Melania Trump, only because Melania's not funny anyway, and if all she did was just sit there and blink, I would have bought it. She would have been safe with that. But she surprised everyone by being very, very funny. I didn't even notice the Michelle Obama name in front of her until it was pointed out. I loved her help me stuff. The things she was saying, very funny, very quiet. This was the thing also. She only piped up when there was a lull and she had something to say. Something I think that the Vixen and definitely Asia should have taken a hint from, bless them. Because that whole Beyonce and Blue, I don't know what the hell that kid's name is. And here's another thing, I don't friggin' care, especially after that. Because if I were Asia, I'd be afraid of Beyonce calling her, like Beyonce uses the phone. I'm just saying. But between the two of them, they had potentially a great rapport built into their characters. They had a great ability to kind of corral the conversation in their direction, which they didn't do at all. And I don't know what videos Asia's watching, but I have never seen Beyonce be like that. She is usually, as they said, the epitome of Southern charm. She is always a lady. I've never heard her swear beyond maybe something she'd sing in a song, you know, for whatever reason. But short of that, I think she conducts herself well. I didn't think the Vixen did a bad job, but unfortunately she was sat next to Eureka's Honey Boo Boo. And let's face it, anyone who was going to be in that chair was going to have to work extra hard or suffer. Guess what the Vixen did? She suffered, and not quietly either, I'm so serious. The biggest disappointment for me was Monique as Congresswoman Waters. I thought that whole character, again, I think she thought it was funny on one level and didn't think of the other levels. And that's where you go wrong with Snatch Game. I'm so serious. But before they could announce the bottom three, the girls had a runway to get through and get ready for. And while they were getting ready, as expected, the Vixen complained about Eureka being funnier than her. What she should have been complaining about was Asia not being funny at all. I mean, if anyone was to blame for the Vixen not doing the best to her abilities besides herself, would have been Asia. She's just bitter and jealous that Eureka brings it every time, bless her. So to quell the animosity before it got too thick, the girls changed the subject and talked politics, because nobody's ever argued over that. I was not surprised to hear the Vixen go on and on and on about all of the political issues that she's had to deal with and the comeuppances for even stepping a toe out of line. And I'm going to say, I don't think it's politics that is the Vixen's problem. I think it's a Vixen's problem. I mean, clearly, she's now had 3 different people tell her 3 different times that maybe it's her reaction to things and not taking that second to digest it, think it over, and come up with a logical counterpoint. No, she just turns it up to 10 and starts growling at people. And at some point, you have to be held accountable for that. Something I don't think the Vixen has ever done. I'm so serious. So the girls hit the runway, and this week's theme was Mermaid Extravaganza, Eleganza, Bubble, Bubble, Bubble. And I was thrilled to see this because a mermaid's a great idea for the runway, and especially with this whole tribute to the Divine Miss M, aka Bette Midler. Those of you old enough to know Bette Midler knows that when she performed in the bathhouse, she was the Divine Miss M, with the divine Barry Manilow sitting next to her without a chin. The point is, I thought that she brought Bette Midler up and did an homage to her because they're trying to get her to be a judge next season. Fingerdoos crossed is all I'm saying. So, the girls got wheeled out in their wheelchairs in true mermaid fashion. The girls that got red, I think got red for the right reasons. Monique's outfit, meh. Again, meh. And even when she brings things together last minute, they're okay. But okay is not going to get a crown put on your head. The other girls that I thought were meh, well, I have to say, I really liked Asia's outfit and that look, but I think the problem with her whole look was that it was a full head mask. She should have done that look with makeup and shown off her makeup skills, but I think that the years working at Chanel have kept her from being able to achieve that kind of skill on her own. The girl that didn't have any problem achieving anything on that runway was Aquaria. That whole oil slick surviving mermaid with the hair and the I could barely breathe was fabulous. It was art, it was fashion, it was editorial, and she looked good. It was complete, the latex dripping and everything. Delicious. Cracker, meh, she was all right, meh. There's a reason that she was safe along with Cameron. Cameron had a good runway too. I mean, that's what I expect a mermaid to look like if she has muscles. And it was no surprise that those two were safe. The girls that really impressed me, other than Aquaria, Eureka's look was delicious. She was just that whole Ursula, evil sea witch, mermaid, delicious gorgeousness that she is very capable of bringing. The Vixen, I'm so glad somebody mentioned that her tits were in her armpits, because they weren't even big enough to go in her armpits and they were still making it over there. I fight with mine. They're always looking in two different directions. This one's staring over there and this one's eating chips. It's not good, I'm just saying. And I didn't have a problem with Monet's outfit, especially because she had big hair on for a change. I mean, if ever there was going to be a nice little reason for a tight little pussycat wig, this could have been it. But no, big old white poof ball of hair, and when she explained what she was going for, I liked it a little more. Was it the best look on the runway? No, but it certainly wasn't the worst. Oh, so the girls came back after deliberation. I just want to say right now, as you all know, I don't watch Untucked when I do this. I don't watch it, I watch it after. I can only imagine what's going on in Untucked, because before the girls all got sent off, they were asked, who do they think should go home? Well, I love that Eureka picked Asia only because she said Asia was competition for her. That's a good reason. She's not picking her because she deserves it. She's picking her because she's scared of her. That is a nice thing to say. Everyone likes someone to be a little afraid of them in a competition. No one was surprised that the Vixen picked Eureka, but you could see that the judges were shocked. What the heck? And that whole exchange between them. I kind of feel like if the Vixen had been asked last who she would like to send home after everyone picked her but Eureka, it would have been a more interesting answer from the Vixen. But because she had that whole thing with Eureka, and you know, the Vixen can't read a social cue to save her life. She's looking at all these judges reacting to her and Eureka fighting, and Eureka is getting smiles and nods, and she's getting questionable stares and frowns. I would have shut my face. I would have shut my face. I'm in front of the judges. I would have just said, oh, I would have picked Asia too. I wouldn't have even talked about Eureka. I wouldn't have even brought her up. But there was another opportunity for Eureka and her personality to win over not only the judges, but the audience as well. I'm so serious. Everyone else on the panel, though, picked the Vixen, especially after that. And I think that the judges were not shocked, because clearly the one thing that they all felt once the girls went to the Untucked Lounge was that the Vixen obviously is a problem and likes to stir the pot. They figured that all out without the Vixen even telling them about her dial or the bear. Seriously. You know, I think it was very telling that the Vixen, in her Meet the Queens video, had picked Tyra Sanchez as an inspiration because she was unapologetic through the whole thing. Yeah, but now she's being investigated by the FBI for threatening to blow up DragCon. Seriously. I wouldn't be associating myself with Tyra Sanchez on any level at this point, because I don't need a body cavity search. Say. That said, I would like to say I can't wait to watch Untucked, because you know that's going to be a mess. Oh, sweet beats. So congratulations, of course, went out to Aquaria for winning her second challenge. I'm a little sorry that Eureka didn't win a third challenge, but I have to say, I don't think anyone expected much out of Aquaria for the Snatch Game challenge, and the fact that she killed a fairly hard character, Melania Trump, certainly made her the easy choice to win. And I would just like to take this moment to point out, here's a queen taking a personality with very little personality and just going for it on her own. This is how you win Snatch Game. Seriously. The girls that were in the bottom, of course, Monique and the Vixen. And I have to say, I'm so sorry that Monique whipped her wig off. I don't know if it fell off, if it was going to fall off and she threw it. I don't know. It's never good when a queen takes her wig off. The only queen who's ever had a wig come off during a lip sync for your life and still won was Chanel in season 1. Learn from the rest of these girls is all I'm saying. Also, the fact that she didn't know any of the words, gee whiz, what a disappointment. The only person to blame for Monique leaving this week is Monique. She should have pulled together a better character for the Snatch Game, and she should have known the words to that song. What was she doing in the Untucked Lounge? Again, this is going to be an Untucked Lounge not to be missed. I'm so serious. So, there's only 7 girls left. I think we're down to the cream of the crop, except for the Vixen. And no offense, I never saw the Vixen as being in the top. So the fact that she's still there, good for her. Is she a lip sync assassin? I don't think I'd call her that, because I still feel like Monique made it easier for her to win this week. If she's in for the bottom for a 3rd time, most girls don't come back from the lip sync for your life a 3rd time. So hopefully she'll pull it together, put her eyes into her own knitting, not worry about what anyone's going else, and throw that dial out. Just focus on yourself, Vixen, seriously. That said, all we can do is tune in to RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10 next week for episode 8. Oh, sweet beats. And then, when you're done, come on back and see me, and you and I can compare notes. Till next week, miss me! Mwah! Seriously, Jorge. I mean...